All right, today I'm going to do a tier ranking video for one of my top favorite bands, Gamma Ray, and I'm a huge Kai Hansen fan. Of course, I loved him in Helloween. I love him in Gamma Ray. You could almost call him the grandfather of power metal or the father of power metal, whatever you want to call him. That's what I like to call him. So after Kai Hansen quit Helloween, he started up this band called Gamma Ray, and personally I like Gamma Ray's take on power metal even more than Helloween's take on power metal, but that's just me. Okay, so let's start with the first album, Heading for Tomorrow. This album is a good start for the band, but I feel like there's still a little bit left to be desired. I mean, you had some great tracks like Lust for Life and Space Eater, Hold Your Ground, but then you also have tracks like Free Time. I don't know, kind of just a generic rock song, really. It's okay. I don't know, it's just not exactly Keeper of the Seven Keys type material in my opinion. But, so yeah, I give Heading for Tomorrow, I give it a B. Sigh No More, their next album. This one I think is kind of an improvement on Heading for Tomorrow, although this album was kind of an odd direction. Like, I hear, like, Judas Priest has always been kind of one of Kai Hansen's biggest influences. You can hear it all over the music. I feel like you can really hear it here. But the songs that stand out to me are like Rich and Famous and As Time Goes By and Start Running are some of the songs that I personally really enjoy. And of course this one has its own epic, Dream Healer, which is pretty cool. Definitely an all-around step up. And I forgot to mention that Kai Hansen did become the singer later on in Gamma Ray, but the first three albums were fronted by Ralph Scheepers, who is now in Primal Fear and previously in a band called Tyrant Pace, which is actually both pretty cool bands to check out. So Sigh No More, an improvement. I would give it an A. Although Gamma Ray is still kind of in that experimental, we don't know what we want to do yet phase. Next album, Insanity and Genius. This one might even be another step towards the Gamma Ray that we all know. I feel like this one's got a little more of a beefed up, painkillery type of sound. Just made up a word there. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I like Last Before the Storm is definitely a highlight. Cave Principle I've always really liked for some odd reason. It's just really atmospheric. The title track, Insanity and Genius, is really fun. There's also this oddball song on there called Gamma Ray, and believe it or not, it is actually a cover of a German band called Birth Control, which I had no idea until about a couple of years ago that was not a Gamma Ray song. But that's interesting. But I would say this album is even a small step up from Sigh No More, so I'll also give it an A tier. Now we're really getting into the goodies. Land of the Free. This album is, in my opinion, it could have been Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 3. To me, I like it that much. I mean, this album kicks off with the song Rebellion in Dreamland, which, in my opinion, could almost be the best Gamma Ray song in the whole discography. Maybe. There's a couple others that are contenders, but very possibly the best. And of course, this album's full of a little more speed metal on this one than the previous couple albums. This one definitely sounds more like power metal, like straight up power metal. You know, you got Man on a Mission, very fast, like, has that, like, I'm gonna go save the universe type of vibe. I love that. Some great tracks like All of the Damned, Salvation's Calling, Gods of Deliverance, Abyss of the Void. I mean, this album's just almost perfect in my opinion. Probably Gamma Ray's most perfect album, I would say. Definitely S tier. Okay, next, let's see here, Somewhere Out in Space. This album is like another pure speed power metal album, kind of like Land of the Free, only this one's got a little more of a little more of a twist, a little more of an atmospheric, reverby type of sound to this one. It's really, it might even be at times faster than Land of the Free. I don't know. Like, there's some pretty crazy tracks on here. Like the song Somewhere Out in Space is insane. I mean, it's almost even Blind Guardian type sounds in this with the speed and everything. Like, I could picture this almost being off a Blind Guardian album. Let's see here. The first track, the Black Hole or whatever it's called, Dive into the Black Hole. That song's really a great opener. Men, Martians and Machines, great song. I think I said that right. I don't know, this whole album is great, and I would also put this as like Keeper of the Seven Keys. It could be like part 4 in my opinion. Definitely S tier. Then we go to Power Plant. I got my stupid allergies still. So we go to Power Plant. This is a new direction. This album is practically Painkiller, but power metal. Anywhere in the Galaxy is an insanely great song. Then, you know, I don't know. This album's got a few flaws to me, though. I feel like even though it's really great, like a couple songs that are really great, well, actually a handful of songs that are pretty great, there are some that kind of don't stand up. Well, like some of the flow of the album's kind of weird. Like, we're trying to think. Heavy Metal Universe is kind of a weird choice for this album. Like, it doesn't really like make sense on this album. It's not a bad song. It's almost like Gamma Ray's trying to be Manowar for some reason. And there is one track, and I can't remember which song title it was, but it did kind of have a rip-off of Dissident Aggressor. And this rip-off thing we're going to talk about later, but it was very, very minimal back in the day. But I think this album, sadly enough, as much as I would love to give this an S tier, I think it's a small step down. I'll give it an A, at least. It's very good, but just not quite on the level the past couple were. The next one, this one's more of a very personal type of album for me. I'm very biased on this one. No World Order. Not only does it have the coolest album art of almost any power metal band or any band in general, the music to me reflects it all the same. So this one's my favorite Gamma Ray album for sure. Well, Land of the Free is a close second, but this one's probably my very favorite Gamma Ray album. I love the whole Illuminati theme here. This whole taking down the tyranny thing is really cool to me. Some notable tracks that I have to talk about. One of the heaviest Gamma Ray songs ever written is called Heart of the Unicorn. But let me tell you, this is one of the coolest Gamma Ray songs ever written. It's so heavy and it's so Painkiller. a lot of this album, it sounds like it's tuned down pretty low. Actually, I think Heart of the Unicorn's like down to C. I think I tried to learn it on guitar one time, and it's like C or drop C or something. It's pretty heavy. I love the title track, No World Order. Fantastic. Heaven or Hell. Dethrone Tyranny. I don't know, like everything on here, even the more traditional metal songs like Fire Below. The only thing that this album might have one mark against is the song Solid. It does, I love the song, but it does kind of sound pretty similar to Rapid Fire by Judas Priest. But to be honest with you, I don't really care. I don't think it's that so similar. Like the main riff is pretty close. Like a couple chords are similar, and the drum beat is the same drum beat from Rapid Fire. But I think the song is different enough and unique enough that I don't hold it against it. But anyway, I will give this a definite S tier. The next album, Majestic. This one I have some mixed feelings about. This one was kind of a long wait from No World Order to this album. Was it like 5-6 years of a wait? And I was really hoping for like No World Order Part 2 or something, but that is not what we got. Majestic is a good album, but the problem is the plagiarisms are really getting stronger on this one. This is where it really started to become noticeable for me. Like the first track goes right into the middle section of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath for some odd reason. And Kai Hansen at least admitted this, but it's like, well, what about some of the other tracks? Like Hell Is Thy Home, I think. Basically, it's Leather Rebel. It's almost like, I mean, like the intro is almost 100% Leather Rebel. The verses are very much like Leather Rebel. I don't know. The chorus and some other parts are a little different, but otherwise it's Leather Rebel. And there's like one song on there where it's like, it's almost like a nu metal type of song. I don't know what the heck that was about. I don't know. Like but there's some very good songs on there. I'm starting to forget the titles of this one. I don't know the titles of quite the same way, but there's one on there I really like. It's about vampire Blood Religion. I love that song. That is definitely a highlight for me. But I don't know. Enough with this album. I'll give this one an A. Definitely not S tier. It's a definite step down from No World Order. And I hate to say this, but it kind of gets worse from here. So we got Land of the Free Part 2. That's a bold statement to put Part 2 to Land of the Free, because Land of the Free is like a perfect Gamma Ray album. This is not. This is horrible. Well, I shouldn't say horrible. There's some good stuff on here. First of all, the production's noticeably worse. I don't know why it is, but it's noticeably worse. And this album, I really don't know song titles very well, or I can't really give very many specifics because I can't hardly listen to this album. But there's so many plagiarisms from Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. It's really bad. This album is littered with it. So I just can't listen to this one very well. It's hard for me to get through. So I'm going to have to give this one I'll put it C tier, just because it's not completely unlistenable. It's just highly disappointing for me. Although there is some good ideas on it, but move on. Next is To the Metal. Surprisingly, I love the music on this. I feel like Gamma Ray tried to cut down and simplify their sound on this one, just to go for something like literally just to the metal, you know, like. But the thing about this album is, although I like the songs, the production is even worse than Land of the Free Part 2. What's going on here? Like, Gamma Ray always had like top-notch productions. What's this? And the worst part is in the vocals. Like the singing's fine. Like, Kai Hansen's doing a good enough job on the vocals, but they sound real. I don't even know what to call it. Like, they sound almost like, I know Kai Hansen sounds nasally anyway, but it's like almost like a nasally type of sound. I don't know. I can't describe it, but it kind of hurts this album a lot. And there's even a track that has Michael Kiske on it, and it's like, the song's cool and all, but they had Michael Kiske do the most plain Jane lower key part that they could possibly find. Like, why didn't they find a part where he could do some soaring vocals or something? I don't understand. But I don't know. I mean, I like this album. I just don't like the production. There is one other major flaw, the song To the Metal. Let's just straight up rewrite Metal Gods from Judas Priest. Yeah, that's what it is. It's Metal Gods. I don't know. I don't know, Kai. I don't get it. I don't get it. I still like you, though. You're still one of my favorites, but I don't get it. Then the band kind of redeems themselves with Empire of the Undead was a huge improvement over the past two albums. While this album, I wouldn't put it, it's not quite as good as like No World Order or Land of the Free or Somewhere Out in Space. I still think it's very good. The production's way better. Like, this is the way a Gamma Ray album should sound. And the plagiarisms here aren't as bad. I mean, there's some, like, I don't know, shout outs to things like Hellbent for Metal on G, where we get that title from. There is one song, there's a ballad on there that it kind of goes into We Are the Champions or something by Queen. Yeah. I don't know why he does that, but this album has a good deal of speed metal. A definite crown jewel of this album is the Epic, which is the album starts off with Avalon, I think. This song is great. Like, I don't know, it's just a great way to start on an album. A huge improvement over the past two. There are some things I think is kind of cheesy. Was it Pale Rider, where he has to seriously curse in it? Like, really? It just sounds cheesy to me. Cursing in songs is kind of cheesy to me. I don't know. But anyway, I will give this album an A tier for sure. So that pretty much wraps up the Gamma Ray discography. They haven't put out an album for several years now. I don't entirely know what's going on. I think Kai did some stuff with having a different singer for live there for a little while. Then he was doing stuff with Helloween, and I'm kind of concerned. Like, are we going to have some more Gamma Ray here soon? Like, I really hope so. Like, they're seriously one of my top favorite bands. With all the problems included, they're still one of my top favorite bands, and I really want some more Gamma Ray soon. But I don't know. Like, I like Helloween, but I am more of a Gamma Ray guy. So we'll see what happens in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching.